Let's bring in our guest here, Republican strategist Matt Klink and Democratic strategist Jonathan Harris. Thank you both for being with us. I hope you're able to listen in on a little bit of our conversation with Niall. Matt, I'm going to start with you. How much time does President Trump have before people start really getting on him for not fixing the economy once he gets into the White House?
I think his honeymoon's going to be pretty short. I think he's probably going to have a couple months, and they're going to have to see something tangible. And that's why I think that he's been working with the Republicans in the House and in the Senate to move a reconciliation bill forward that will hopefully begin to resolve some of that. And he can certainly cure some of that from an optics perspective on day one with some of his executive orders, countermanding some of the anti-economic decisions like the canceling of the pipeline that Joe Biden did on his first day in office, that will at least send a more positive tone to America that, again, America is open for business.
And a lot of Americans of different political persuasions, I bring this up quite often because the numbers don't lie here. They were more confident that President Trump would be able to handle the economy and fix it than they had confidence in Vice President Kamala Harris. But Jonathan, I have to ask you, exactly what are Democratic objectives right now, knowing that Republicans are in power in the White House and in Congress? What is it that they want to see happen right away that they're going to continue to speak on?
Well, I would think that, first of all, the economy is in incredible shape because of President Biden. That's an inarguable fact. And so I would imagine that Democrats have a vested interest in not only making sure that the economy stays healthy. Of record low unemployment. President Biden's administration is the first administration in history to never see any single month of job loss. That is incredible. That has never happened. So I would imagine that Democrats have a vested interest in making sure that the success of President Biden and Vice President Harris's administration continues even under Donald Trump, because when Donald Trump was elected last time, it was the same thing. He came in with a very, very healthy economy from President Obama, and then he crashed it into a recession because he started a trade war with China that he lost. And then that was right as COVID was beginning, and the economy continued to struggle there. So I would imagine that Democrats want to make sure that Donald Trump doesn't crash our economy again after inheriting an incredibly healthy economy from another Democratic administration. I think we're at 17 million jobs added by the Biden-Harris administration, which recovered every single job that Donald Trump lost, as well as adding to it with record low unemployment. I think we're at like around 4% or something like that unemployment, last I checked.
Matt, why don't you respond to those talking points? One, that President Trump crashed the economy, and two, that all of these jobs were recovered, but a lot of places still didn't hire those positions after they were available.
Thanks, Adrian. That's the great myth that the Democrats try to propagate, but unfortunately or fortunately for the American people, nobody buys it. Hey, Jonathan,
I'm sorry.
Wait, Jonathan. Wait, hold on.
Jonathan, you guys lost in November. It's time to move on, bud. That didn't work. They didn't believe Kamala Harris. They didn't believe Joe Biden. 7% mortgage rates on homes, right? 7% mortgage rates on homes right now. The economy is anything but strong. That's why they got thrown out on their ears. That is true. Then why isn't Kamala Harris in office?
Okay, so we're having two different conversations, right?
Like, I'm not talking about. They didn't buy it.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about an election.
Sorry.
I'm not talking about election.
Let's time out. Hold on. Let's time out. All I wanted, Jonathan, all I wanted Matt to do was point out the fact that from his perspective and from a lot of Americans' perspective, all of those jobs that you're talking about, that you're saying was the answer to the question, which I said was, what are Democrats hoping continues? What is the big economic point that they hope? And you did a great job of explaining that President Biden, from your perspective, did a wonderful job with the economy and that you hope the success continues. But then you listed these numbers, and I wanted Matt to explain, there are a lot of Americans who do not believe that all of those jobs that were regained were actually filled by people.
Okay, but if you don't believe something, that doesn't mean it's not true. It's like science. Even if you don't agree with it, it's still true. If you don't believe the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that's a problem that maybe people have with reading. What I said is these things are true. If you have any question about how the economy is doing, check how spending was done over our recent Christmas break and the consumer spending. Whether they believe it, they spent money like they believed it. The point is, it's not up for debate. I said the economy is healthy because it is. Now, whether that translated into a victory in an election is something else. That wasn't the conversation we were having. I'm saying that those are the numbers. Now, if you want to argue with the Bureau of Labor Statistics, I've never seen anybody do that, but you're more than welcome to do it. But we can have a separate conversation about whether or not a woman, Kamala Harris, who had 105 days to run her campaign from a fractured race, whether she made that messaging clear as well as trying to introduce herself and all that. But that wasn't the question. The question was, what were Democrats trying to do? They're trying to maintain the healthy economy that is inarguably healthy. And if Donald Trump is going to crash the economy again, like he did last time, everything I said is a fact. It's not even up for debate. I can't even believe that you're arguing with me about this.
And Adrian, that is why the Democrats are still struggling. They have no message. They have no plan. Jonathan, reality is Donald Trump's president tomorrow. Your candidate lost. Joe Biden will go down in history as one of the worst presidents ever. Undisputable. Wrong. So you can... Jonathan,
Donald Trump was fired with the lowest Donald Trump was fired with the lowest approval rating any president has ever had. And when President Biden won his election, it was by a record 8 million votes over Donald Trump. It was the highest amount of votes that has ever been cast. I love numbers because they don't care about your opinion or political spin.
History.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that we couldn't.
Of the United States right now.
It's unfortunate that we kept on talking about things that already happened instead of thinking about things moving forward, because everything that was talked about over the past 4 minutes was about what already has happened. And the truth is that I'm wanting to look forward and see what Democrats are going to be focusing on and what Republicans are going to do, because I'm telling you, President Trump's feet will be held to the fire if he doesn't fix the economy quickly by both Democrats and Republicans. But the jobs and the numbers and the statistics that you say are not up for debate, that's a whole other can of worms that I have to take another beat on.
Like when Trump came into office from Obama, he didn't have an economy to fix. He doesn't have an economy to fix right now. The economy was healthy when he inherited it from Obama. It was the longest unbroken streak of private sector job growth in history, and he doesn't have an economy to fix right now. He just has to not break it.
We got nothing to worry about, Jonathan.
We have 3 hours, and we'll get back if we can to talk to you guys some more, because this went completely sideways. Republican strategist Matt Klink, Democratic strategist Jonathan Harris. We can just go back. We'll volley over X on this one, okay? Thank you both so much.
You got it.